What's good, CB Tape Lab family? Back with another banger for today. Today we have Zabien Brown from Alabama. Complete technician. This past year he was only a true sophomore, so one more year and then he'll be a first, second rounder easily. I think he went to Modern Day in California, but just elite technician, y'all. And today's actually a lot of off-man coverages and shuffle technique and, reading the quarterback while off and playing your man, top field, shoulder, all that good stuff. But a lot of off-man coverage because I know my past couple videos have been heavily focused on press coverage. But nonetheless, let's get straight into this one. Play it full through. Elite technician, man. Boom. Go get it almost. Regardless, though, boom. So I got this right here just to show y'all. So they're going to rush four, and they're going to have four underneath. So he has his deep third. And what does this tight end do? Tight end just sits right there, but you have an underneath player, right? So it's basically man on man, but you could call it your deep third, right? Regardless, though, let's get into it. Boom. For starters, notice how whenever you do have one receiver on your side, if this tight end doesn't go vertical, then you can look at the QB drop back, right? And he's probably looking at him just because there's only one receiver, one vertical threat on his side. But anyways, though, look at how he's staring to see the QB drop back. Boom, quarterback catches it. I know this whole thing's in the way, but right, left, right, left. You guys see how he takes like 4 or 5 steps? So this is definitely not 3-step, right? A 3-step drop would be that left foot down, right, left, boom, right? That left foot, right, left, and he has the ball out and he's staring down this route, right? So he's not giving us a 3-step and he sees this, right? And good job shuffling, right? One thing I want to point out, we're shuffling. Shoulders are parallel to the sideline, right? His shoulders are parallel. He is still low, right? Boom. This is Cam Coleman. He's going to give us that inside fake. We're not even going to bite downhill on it. We're just going to protect our inside leverage, but we're going to stay going vertical, right? Give us that inside fake. We're just going to keep going vertically inside, right? He's going to fake to go back outside for a fade. And at this point, because we kept our cushion, we can just angle pedal, right? Not angle pedal, my bad. We can crossover run at an angle, my bad. Crossover run at an angle. Whenever you keep your cushion, right, in your deep third, deep fourth, whenever you keep your cushion, you now have the option to crossover run at an angle versus having to speed churn and locate your man, right? And the advantage of being able to do this crossover run at an angle, he can see the whole field. He can see the quarterback. And the receiver's not even in his blind spot yet. He can see the receiver as well. This is just this is a flawless rep. You guys see what I'm talking about here? Say he wasn't right here, 3-4 yards ahead of Cam Coleman. Say he was even. He has to now speed churn, go locate the receiver, and maybe get his head back for the ball. Does that sort of make sense? But instead, he keeps his cushion, right? Now we can just backpedal. Now, I keep saying the wrong thing. Now we can crossover run at an angle. My bad, y'all. Crossover run at an angle. Keep him out of our blind spot. And now we can just go play the ball. Like, this is just a flawless rep. Play it all the way through one more time. Just flawless rep. Once again, though, always try your best to keep your cushion. That way you can just crossover run at an angle. And the reason he knows it's a deep route and he doesn't bite on that inside as well is that QB drop back. That's very, very important. That QB gives us a long drop back, so we know it's nothing short. All right, y'all, this will be the second clip. I'll play it all the way through first. Another off-man coverage clip. Teach tape once again, y'all make me shed a tear. Boom, let's back it all the way up, though. And let me know if you guys liked me showing the full defense like this first and then getting into an angle. I'm only able to do this if the game shows like a close-up angle like this after a play is made. They don't do it often, which I hate, but it is what it is. Regardless, though, Alabama's going to end up rushing 6. Both these guys end up rushing the quarterback, and I believe he has eyes on the running back, but if the running back just stays and blocks, then he has middle of the field help, right? But regardless, though, in our mind, we have no help. Middle of the field is open, right? That's why we're inside leverage by a yard. Just want to get that out the way. So he has no alleged help on this play, right? Boom. For starters now, notice how because we have no help, he is looking inside. right at the snap, his eyes go to hip. Whenever you don't have help, an underneath dropper or anything like that, your eyes do need to be on his hip because we cannot give up anything deep, if that sort of makes sense, right? If you have your deep third, deep fourth, now you can have your eyes on the quarterback to see the drop if there's one receiver to your side. But in a man-on-man play like this, just for example, he could be impressed right here, right? If the defense coordinator, DB coach wanted him to. And if you're impressed, you're never going to have your eyes on your man, right? Or you're never going to have your eyes on the quarterback. Does that sort of make sense to y'all? So it doesn't change when we go to off man. Keep your eyes on the receiver's hip. Boom. We're going to get into a slow pedal. Eyes still on hip. Shoulders over toes. Feet, just like that last video I said about that Madden bubble, that circle around your feet. His feet are staying within his frame, right? Shoulders over toes, feet within frame, eyes on hip. Cam Coleman's going to break down, and although he sinks his hips, he never turns and does a full 180, right? He doesn't even give us a 90 degrees, right? In order to break downhill, we need at least 90, but we want a 180-degree turn, right? We need his hips to face the quarterback, the ball, right? He doesn't even get a 90 degrees. Hips are still facing this way. So Zabien Brown, he does a really good job settling his feet, right? But he never drives downhill. He just settles. Cam Coleman settling, we're going to settle. And after that, Cam Coleman's running a stop and go. Look at the angle he takes to cut him off. A lot of DBs might just accidentally just drift along here and cut him off later on. But he says, nah, I'm going to cut him off right now, right? Boom. Get a hand on. And at this point, Cam Coleman is 1 or 2 steps away from getting out of bounds. You guys see what I'm saying? Because of that angle he took. That's something a lot of people are going to miss when looking at clips like this. Boom, run at an angle, cut him off. Even if this ball is catchable, I would like any receiver coach to tell me how on earth he's going to catch this and get 1 foot in, let alone 2 feet once it's the NFL time, right? Zabien Brown doesn't even need to get his head around. If he did turn around, he might have could have got this interception, but at the end of the day, the receiver did not catch the ball due to an elite technique rep. Once again, slow back pedal at the start. Eyes on hips, shoulders over toes, feet within frame. Boom. Cam Coleman's going to sink hips and fake a comeback curl hitch, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to settle because he's settling. He never gives us a full 180-degree turn. His hips are still pointing upfield. So we're just going to settle, take a proper angle to cut him off, teach tape. I'll play it all the way through. My bad for all the yapping as well. I just get real excited on teach tape plays. All right, y'all. This will be the 3rd clip. I'll play the full thing all the way through. Now, so it is a PBU. Let's get it out the air, though. This definitely is a bad, quote-unquote bad play. You see how the receiver has to slow down to come for the ball, If this is Julian saying and Jeremiah Smith, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, it'd be on ESPN, right? But regardless, though, he did a good job at the end, right? But let's look at what happened wrong. So in this play, he obviously has his deep either third or quarter, right? Because he's not in a back pedal and he has eyes on the quarterback. I just wanted to show the danger of having the eyes on the quarterback for too long, though, right? His shoulders are parallel to the sideline, but notice how he is staring down the quarterback. I believe it's the quarterback, right? I believe that's the quarterback in that direction. We obviously can't tell for sure, but we're never really looking at our man. And this play started, receiver started, the 40? Yeah, at the 40-yard line. And he's doing a fake move, this is a normal comeback route if it was a comeback at the 10 yards, right? 10 to 12 yards. But we never have eyes on our receiver. He's not necessarily completely in our blind spot over here. He is 2 yards back, but we don't have eyes on the receiver. And he does get a clean break if it was a comeback. If that was a comeback, that'd be a very clean break. But we never get our eyes on our man, right? So boom, as a result, now we're going to get our eyes to our man, and it's a fake stop and go. And now we have to trail. Like I said, if this was a much better ball, this would be a touchdown. I would definitely say at this point, great job not attempting to look back for the ball and playing through the hands, though, right? But just wanted to show, I don't want to speak on this one too long, but just wanted to show the dangers of not getting your eyes to your man. Like I said, though, great technique once again, though. Shoulders parallel. This is a very clean break, right? If it was a comeback, but you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, just be careful. All right, y'all. These last two clips are going to be kind of short. I thought they were pretty cool clips to put in. This one against Oklahoma. This was a game-changing play for Alabama, man. This is what helped them out in the first half tremendously. They was having some offensive struggles, but Zabien Brown down here got a free pick six off of bad. What would you say? I don't want to say chemistry between the Mateer and this wide receiver, but definitely they was on the wrong page. My bad. They was on the very wrong page on this play. Played all the way through, which led to an interception, right? Mateer thought he was doing a comeback or curl, right? But just wanted to show in his zone play like this, and this one right here, Zabien Brown did have the flats, right? He had the hook curl right here. Zabien Brown had the flats. Boom. Eyes on the quarterback. You guys see how he catches the ball? He's taking that left, right, left. Just as I was talking about in the first clip, right? This is a three-step drop. Every quarterback's three steps going to be different. I highly recommend watching, going over clips after clips after clips when you're about to play them, and make sure you know what his specific three-step footwork looks like, right? But boom, Mateer catches it, right? Left, right, right? And boom, he's throwing that thing. Great job by Zabien Brown. This whole entire time has his eyes on the quarterback in the flats. Whenever you are in the flats, I definitely recommend having your eyes to the quarterback. Boom. Obviously, this was the quarterback and receiver was on different pages, but nonetheless, though, pick six because we're looking at the quarterback. If somebody's looking at the receiver right here and guarding this, he would have no chance to go pick this off, right? Just a cool little video. All right, y'all. This will be the last clip for Zabien Brown. We already went a lot of off-man coverages and then a play in the flats. This one right here is a goal line. Obviously, we have no clue what type of defense this is, but I'm pretty sure he has like a first out type of responsibility, right? Whether it's flats or first out, goal line, sometimes they'll call it first out. And maybe he has the first deep out or second out. Regardless, though, one of the biggest things that a lot of DBs sleep on or never really incorporate into their game is the art of shuffling before breaking downhill, right? Whenever you shuffle, it's going to sound silly and it's going to sound not that important, but shuffling, even if it's just one shuffle, he gets two shuffles in. Whenever you get at least one shuffle in before breaking downhill on a pass, it's going to sound silly, but it gets you there faster than what it would be just running downhill, right? Look at this play right here. Shuffle, break downhill. And it is a bad ball. Not really bad, but it is a bad ball a little bit, but whenever you shuffle, you get to your spot faster, and the obvious, you can cut back because you're not crossing your feet. He could have flipped his hip and got to this one if it was over top, right? Regardless, though, always try to incorporate one or two shuffles before breaking downhill. It's going to give you a better angle, right? Say he just started running right here, he wouldn't have this type of angle, right? Played all the way through. Just a little cool rep right here. Always try and get a one or two shuffles in. He has to return this with like 4 seconds left in the second half, or the first half in the second quarter for a pick six. But shuffle. Now we're going to break downhill on the ball, right? It's definitely something you're just going to have to feel out on the field to believe it. You can't really believe it just from me talking about it, but always try to get one or two shuffles in before breaking downhill, right? So shuffle, break downhill. Teach tape right here, man. But nonetheless, that'll be it for Zabien Brown. Looking forward to seeing him in his last year at Alabama for his junior year. And yeah, that should be it. But everybody, hope you guys have a good week.